We good? Who they waiting on? That's Pablo. Listen, we need to talk about Kanye and Donda 2. So it's been a while since any updates have happened to Donda 2. There were rumors of Fabio Foreign's verse being added to We Did It Kid, but as of recording right now, it hasn't been added to the StimPlayer website, but the snippet is out there somewhere. Kanye was banned from Instagram and since has taken a break before leading up to some of his bigger appearances for this year. You know, he's doing Coachella.
He's not doing Coachella.
The Grammys.
No.
Rolling Loud. I'm sure he's going to be doing other stuff. So why not talk about the album that he released exclusively on his StimPlayer device and on the StimPlayer website back in February. Luckily, I snagged one of these StimPlayers last year as a Christmas gift for someone, so when this album came around, I didn't have to look around and I didn't have to wait to listen to this. This project is really rough around the edges. Similar to the first installment of Donda, some of my least favorite parts of this album come from Kanye himself, but unlike the first installment, a lot of these songs don't really justify the lack of hunger, drive, I almost said power because the Rock's verse. Unlike the first installment, the majority of these songs aren't good enough to justify the lack of drive, hunger, and just overall passion from Kanye on these performances. It almost feels like Kanye wants people to trash this album and talk about how he's lost his passion and his touch as a musician, just for him to flip the switch and update this album and make it a masterpiece. As a Kanye fan though, I'm not holding my breath because I'm not sure of how many updates this project is going to get before some of Kanye's bigger performances of the year. The two songs with XXXTentacion were nice, though I think I like Selfish more than I like True Love, but I really do love how True Love has a similar jump pattern to Runaway though, because it's one of my favorite Kanye songs ever. I do like the sample though in Selfish because Kanye samples Cookie from Power, who's played by Taraji P. Henson, and she says, "I gotta put me first. I gotta put me first, Lucius." And then on his verse, he says, "I gotta put me first, Lucien," which I interpreted as him talking to Lucien George, one of the executives at Universal Music Group, who Kanye has been known to have his ins and outs with. Broken Road with Don Toliver feels like a forgettable demo track. Not bad, but just not a fully fleshed out idea. A common pattern that's seen in a lot of these songs. Get Lost and Too Easy also sounds super rough, but even if they were finished, I'm not sure I would like the final idea for these songs. Flowers is about as bare bones as it gets, which is sad because this song really feels like it had the potential to be one of the standout singles for this album, but again, it's not bad, just not finished. Security caught the attention of many Yeezus fans because just like the album, it has a very harsh and abrasive sound, but unlike the album, this song isn't good. No, you can't be on my album. I don't know, man. I just don't want to hear Kanye growling over a beat for 4 minutes and then talking about how he's gonna beat up the security that Kim Kardashian called on him. It's just not interesting, and even if it was interesting, it just doesn't sound good to me. Even without getting into the song morally or ethically and diving into his personal relationship with Kim Kardashian, I just don't enjoy the song musically. We Did It Kid is the first song where I really started feeling good about this project. This song is exactly what I thought Amigos and Kanye collab would sound like, and adding Baby Keem is never a bad idea. And there's a snippet out there with a Fabio Foreign verse on this song. Why not? I think he would sound great on this. That's not sarcasm, by the way. I actually think he would be really good on this. This song is very grand and feels very based in Atlanta hip hop, kind of sounding like something similar to Kanye's single Champions that also featured Quavo amongst other artists a while ago. This is definitely my favorite song off the project right now. The only complaint I have is please uncensor Quavo and Offset's verses. I'm fine with listening to clean music, but censoring explicit rap lyrics just makes rap songs so much worse. Louis Bags is way too repetitive and the beat kinda sucks, which is a shame because it wastes a nice Jack Harlow feature in the back end of the song. I stopped buying Louis Bags after Virgil passed. I stopped buying Louis Bags after Virgil passed. I stopped buying Louis Bags after Virgil passed. And then there's also the sample. It was like, "We did it, Joe. We did it.
We did it. We did it, Joe."
It was like the original clip of Kamala Harris saying that was already kind of awkward and stretched out, but it seemed like he stretched it out even more to fit the song. And with the instrumental, it doesn't sound good. I'm sorry, it sucks. That song sucks. Happy is one of the hardest beats I've heard all year. This is exactly what I expected whenever I heard that Future was going to be the executive producer for this album. And just as a side note, that doesn't mean that Future is producing all the beats for this album. That's not what executive producer means. Sure, that can be the case for some albums whenever a producer is actually the executive producer, but in Future's case, that just means he's sort of the head of the creative vision and the sense of direction for this project. This song definitely has Future's influence written all over it. Future slid on this thing, and I honestly would have been fine if Kanye was not on this song and it was just Future song. Sci-Fi is one of the most gorgeous beats Kanye has had maybe ever. I mean, it's definitely up there, and it's sad because he kind of ruins it. something he's been known to do with specific lines on songs like Runaway, Father Shuts My Hands, and plenty more examples. Wrapping up, we have Lord Lift Me Up, which just sounds like a Donda 1 leftover. Honestly, at this point, I'll take that. With how this album's going, I like that sound, so. First time in a long time sees Soulja Boy finally cashing in on his opportunity to get a verse on a Kanye album since he made a big deal about being cut last time, and honestly, he did okay. He did alright, he didn't ruin the song. And then we get the single City of Gods and Easy. City of Gods is a mess of a collab to me, but it's also undeniably a powerful anthem as well. And when it comes to Easy, it has a super hard performance from Game's part, but Ye's part, I'm kind of half and half on it. There are some days where I really like it and I find myself reciting some of the lines, and there are other days where I'm like, this is corny, man, or this is whack, and I turn off the song after the Game's verse. This album in its current state is not good. I think many anticipate an update for this album, but we haven't heard anything official from Kanye, but in my opinion, this album needs something done to it for it to be considered good, in my opinion. As of right now, this version of Donda 2 is probably Kanye's worst album. If not, it's in the bottom tier for sure. And when it comes to Kanye in this current era, Kanye has always been an artist that expresses himself through his art, and with everything he's doing and everything he's going through right now, it's evident that what he stands for nowadays isn't as interesting and is actually contrary to a lot of the values that I hold as a listener. At one point, this guy was one of my biggest influences in believing in myself and achieving my goals, and now he's a billionaire who has a power trip, and anyone that threatens that, he now has the power to silence them and threaten them without seemingly any consequences. And I've listened to plenty of artists who I don't necessarily agree with morally, but with how involved Kanye's personal life is with his music, it makes it very hard to both care and enjoy it at the same time. But that's how I'm feeling about Donda 2 right now. Let me know in the comments how you feel about Donda 2. Do you think this album needs an update? What are some of your favorite songs? What are some of your least favorite songs? Be sure to show support by liking, which would help me a lot, and subscribing to become a part of the J.Mafia. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you in the next video. Butt naked in the kitchen cooking grits.